Okay, this is the most important part of what I consider to be gem of the class. Because if you put too much time into learning physical and technical skills at the expense of your spiritual skills, then you're losing out. Okay? I'd just like to thank everybody for being here today. And it's always good to have that support. So we're going to talk about what is philosophy. And I'm going to try to take too long to go ahead. It's going to be another segment of the video. And philosophy is something that the old masters, they wanted their students to get into. It was philosophy, nature, the anatomy, and all of that, you know. Because in the West, we have no understanding about the philosophy, what it has to do with martial arts, you know. What is philosophy? Before I start that, I'd like to ask that question. What is philosophy? Somebody answer that for me.
The thinking, the belief around a certain subject.
Okay.
Study of life.
Study of life.
Wisdom.
Wisdom. Okay.
Thinking process of any subject.
Yes, thinking process. All that goes into that. Okay, let's read what it says. Philosophy is the rational investigation of the truths and principles of being, knowledge, and conduct. It's the rational investigation. It's the logical investigation of something. Okay. Philosophy is also the critical study of the basic principles and concepts of a particular branch of knowledge, especially with a view to improving or reconstructing them. Philosophy. And I read something in the history that said that Columbus, back in his day, said to the people that the earth wasn't round. No, he said that the earth was round. But the people who had been taught that the earth was flat, they got on his case because they didn't want to believe that. They didn't want to believe that. It also says that sometimes history can challenge our personal beliefs because once we start investigating and researching, we may find out what we thought we knew to be the truth wasn't the truth at all. And that goes to say that conventional wisdom can sometimes be just conventional lies. But everybody just go and accept it. Okay? Why is the philosophy of any martial arts system just as important as its physical or technical aspects? Without the key elements of a philosophical understanding, the traditional martial arts training is not enough to fulfill the requirements of one's human nature, such as humility, compassion for all living creatures, loyalty, and social graces. See all those qualities right there? Humility, compassion, loyalty. You can't get that learning a martial arts technique. But you can get that if somebody's training your mind to think like that. You know, compassion. And you have compassion with people. You know, we look on the news all the time and see people with no compassion. Even animals, they at the cruelty of people. They treat animals badly. You know, and that's wrong. You see? So that's their philosophy. They're, well, that's just an animal. It's not just an animal. It's a breathing, living being that has a purpose. You see? So if your philosophy of life is that it doesn't matter, then you're a victim of your own philosophy.
So not all philosophies are rational investigation of truth and principles of being, knowledge, and conduct.
Not all of them.
Some of them are destructive.
Some of them are destructive. And that's what we get into with the philosophism. Destructive philosophy. That's what the gangsters live by, destructive philosophy. Anytime a man says, listen, I don't live to get over 20, he's living a destructive philosophy of life. You don't plan to get, oh, I know what, I could go any day now. Not because he thinks that's just the way it's supposed to happen, because he knows he's doing so much dirt until his dirt's gonna catch up with him.
So I was saying philosophy to me, how every, it's collective, how everything affects everything else, how everything is linked as a whole.
Okay.
Because like you have philosophy and you're destructive and philosophy is constructive. So it's still how that is affecting that.
Yeah. Everything affects everything. Yeah, without a doubt.
If I may,
Yes.
I was doing some study reading the other night, and I was looking up the symbol of the Chinese, the yin yang theory, philosophy, and the energy that we put out a lot of times is the yang. You know, when we doing hard techniques, you know, that he was when you was instructing Sensei Richie about his break ball, I mean about the rollouts, and he was rolling hard, but that's a yang energy. And then when he did it right, as according to Shihan Ishmael, you know, on the side, that's the yin. So you talk about the destructive energy, and philosophy. You know, somebody talking about they're not going to live past 20. That's that hard yang energy.
That's right.
And the complement of that yang energy is the yin, death.
Yeah.
So we live in a world of opposites.
Yeah.
We got opposites. You know, you got you dealing with the philosophy, how we live it, our lives according to nature, the universe. You know, we reciprocate through our energy that we
Right.
put out.
That's what we put out. So as the Buddhists call it the karma. You know, that's your karma coming back. Any sound philosophy of life is based upon the truth. Based upon the truth. What is a philosophy of life? A philosophy of life is any philosophical view or vision of the nature or purpose of life, or of the way that life should be lived. Is your mind not free to seek its own course, to soar even to the heaven, though you turn and spin within a prison? Can any man or woman be truly free without the truth? You know, yeah, your mind is yours, and you're free to be able to be in a prison of your own mind. Yeah, you got that freedom too. Yeah. So we know we look around in society and we always talking about freedom this, freedom that. We got people walking around who thinking they're free, but they're prisoners in their own mind. Certain ideas and concepts are turned into jail cells. You see? It's like your brother that shot the sister on the news the other day. I think she had 2 or 3 kids, but he gonna shoot her in front of the children because he broke up with her, and he's still carrying this grudge.
That's why I first cousin.
Yeah, that's right. You did tell me that.
Yeah, I was with her today, and they caught him Friday.
They called him. Oh, okay, I saw that too.
He
Yeah.
went to the house, his mom house to get some clothes and some more bullets.
More bullets.
He shot her 14 times. He shot her
Yeah, that's right. Multiple
5 times in the
times.
stomach, 4 times in the back, and a headshot, little eye. And she's still living.
She's still alive?
Oh, she's still living.
There wasn't that time, but
Get him to
That's
the
my
hospital.
cousin.
yeah, that's bad. So you see what's going on in this society. And one author said that basically a lot of our young men, they are boys masquerading as men. They have fragile egos, the wrong philosophy of life. So anytime somebody look at you, you know, you get an attitude. So deep inside yourself, there's some self-esteem problems. But you don't know that because you don't look into yourself enough to find out what's really going on. You see? So that kind of philosophy can cause you a lot of problems too. You're always arguing with people. You know, you're controversial, or everything is an argument. Hey man, it's about to rain. No, it ain't. I just that, bro. Just it's about to rain. You trying to draw that out? You got people like that. No, I'm gonna win that one. So philosophy is very important in martial arts training. So can any man or woman be truly free without the truth? We need the truth. But in order sometimes to understand what the truth is, we got to search for it. We got to find it out. We got to find it out. Now just go to that far corner right there where it says examples of deceitful philosophies. I'm a grown man. I always say that. Is that truth or is that a lie? Now you got to have some philosophy behind why you say that's a lie.
Because a learning human, you should be learning, and anything that is grown has reached its potential.
It's reached its full potential. So we grow up here and guys say, hey, I'm a grown man. And once you really start thinking, or as one author put it, you're a significant philosophical thinker. Everybody thinks, but not everybody is a significant philosophical thinker. You know, because you think that, what did you just say? Yes.
I think some people are wrong. For real.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Grown in what?
That's it.
That's it. Grown in ignorance.
Yeah, they're not going any
Okay.
further than that.
That's it.
That's it.
So they
They have reached their potential.
They reached everything. Okay.
And that's sad, but they
And
don't have, they
I
can
told
switch
them
it.
that.
They can switch it, but they comfortable in that
Their own
way.
business.
But you through.
Yep.
You know, I'm a grown man. As long as you're able to take in wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, you should be growing. Because your manhood has nothing to do with your physical body. It's your mind and spirit. And we can upgrade everything, our car, our home, but nobody takes time, I won't say nobody, but not enough people take time to upgrade their spiritual level.
You know, if I may, Professor, on that same plane, when you look in the fruit and vegetable kingdom, when something reaches full maturity, it has to be it has to be, you know, when it reaches full potential, it has to be, you know, it's blossomed, you know, it can't go any further.
That's it.
It does it adapt.
That's it.
You know, it'll rot, right?
Yeah,
So-
rock right out, just like a fruit. Yeah, you're right.
So in that sense, that's grown, because
Yeah.
it's reached its full potential.
So you know the old folks used to sometimes call people and say, boy, you a rotten child. Maybe they didn't know what they were saying. But you done reached the point that you end up going back. You know, like they used to say, now you smelling your must. All kinds of things they used to say, you know. Yeah, but you right, you say. But now the next one it says, I'm a grown woman, so we know the same thing. I'm independent. And nobody's independent. We're not even breathing the air that we own. You know, just because you're paying some bills or something, don't mean you're independent. You know, you just able to pay some bills with that air that you don't own.
That's also something too. You have to have someone to run the check with power to have it.
Yeah.
Of course, you get you out.
Rich folks get rich by poor folks working for them. Capitalism. Okay? I've got my own mind. Who got their own mind? You didn't grow up with your own mind. You grow up collecting things that became your mind from other people. Then you find out later on what was wrong. You know, it's just like people who like to go to church. Some people, but then they think it's okay the next day to get up and go hang out at the bar and drink some alcohol. Okay, wait a minute now, that makes sense. Why would somebody who's into spirituality like that, they go to the physical church or the physical mosque, but then again later on they're consuming alcohol? So really, one thing can be a problem for us is the deception of our own minds, things that we tell ourselves, okay? So we have to defend ourselves against that. You know, I don't need a man to help me raise my child. A man ain't supposed to cry. You know, a man ain't supposed to cry. I've heard that. What's wrong with a man crying? Matter of fact, I heard tears give benefit. It releases the stress from your body. If I figure when you actually getting a good crying, you be like, ah, and then you be like, ah, man. That was good. But you know, so you gonna go with that philosophy. Well, I ain't trying to cry, man. No, I got something in my eye, man. That's okay. You know, brothers, they don't even hug one another. You know, hey, man, hey, yo, what's up? It's matter, you know. And when you read Japanese history, the Japanese, out in public, they don't hug their sons or kiss their sons. They don't do that. They, you know, not even in the house do they do that. They just, you know. But then you read a bit of history, and it takes you over to Arabia, and the Prophet Muhammad said, "Oh, this his children." So you kiss the children, you show kindness to the children. How is the children going to learn how to love and have compassion? And then Jesus tell them, say, look, let them come over there, you know. Don't be running the children away. And he also told them, if you do wrong by any one of them, you do wrong by me. So we treat children badly, and then they grow up walking around here like little monsters, and we wonder what happened. You know, they want to get in the gang, at least somewhere, some of the gang members at least take them and hold them a little bit, give them a little hug or something. Then they go out and rob them, do whatever they're going to do, but at least you get some love, you know. Can't get that in the house. Boy, look at here. Okay, I brought you into this, no, I don't need a man to help me raise my child. That's the philosophy of a lot of women, that I don't need a man. All I need you to do is give me the baby. You know. Now the baby is the benefits of having two people to bring that baby into the world. The baby don't have that anymore because the woman, for some reason, she wants the child, and for some women, they want to get with another woman while they're raising the child. You know. So this is people's way of thinking. Okay.
I just want to say,
yeah,
you know, what's funny about that? A lot of women, you know, they'll say, oh, these men are no good and stuff like that. But you understand, a lot of those men grow up with single mothers, and they grow up as birth, and their mothers tell them that girl's no good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Over and over again, oh, they no good, constantly telling their son over and over again, is, you know, she's out to get you, she's out there. So that boy grows up thinking like that, so then, you know.
That's the philosophy he's been
So
given.
it's, you know, it's just a circle. So you're looking at, oh, these guys are no good, but look at who's teaching them.
Yeah.
You know, you rarely see a young man that's not really, you know, righteous or whatever when you have two parents, or a strong mother who grew up in a household where the father was there, so she knows what a father was, a man supposed to do, so
Right.
that she can do, send off to the child.
It takes a man to raise a man child. You know, it takes a man to help raise his woman child. Even though the mother, she gonna really do a bulk of that there. But it takes somebody to be able to show them what life is about. So if the child come up with the wrong philosophy, the child is still dealing before he even gets started. He has a false start in life. You know, like you're doing a race and you take off before they shoot the gun, that's a false start. You know. I brought you into this world, I can take you out. I used to hear that a lot in the neighborhood. But now who has the authority just because you brought a child in the world to take the child out? And really, we don't own our children. Our children come through us from a higher power. And we're supposed to take care of them with love and consideration. Not saying I can take you out when I want to because I brought you here. That's a crazy philosophy. You know, on the day of judgment, you get somewhere and you had that same question in your face. Who told you you can do that? You belong to me. So that's what a lot of men say now. That's why they're shooting the women. Because they actually think the women belong to them. When human beings, one soul cannot belong to another soul. We all belong to the Creator. My wife doesn't belong to me. If I had a son, he wouldn't belong to me. A daughter doesn't belong to you. You got to understand that you are a trustee and that all souls belong to the Creator of that soul. You see? Even if we get something, it's a gift that God gives us. We should have humility in prosperity and adversity. You know, we get something good and we say, oh man, yeah, I got it now, man. I got 3 cars, 4 this, 4 that, 4 that. We just bragging and bragging and bragging, you know. But nowhere in the middle do you put, thank God for that. Or if you get problems now, oh man, everything gets bad. No humility there. So in martial arts training, you can't get all of that understanding just by doing techniques. In order to become a full-fledged, how should I say, a disciple, you must have some understanding. You know, you must have some understanding. Let's go on down this line. Biracial. I heard some girl on TV, she told a guy, she said, well, no, I'm white and I'm black. And I'm Puerto Rican. I don't like the black side. This is her philosophy of life. But for the get-go, there's no such thing as a race of people. So how can there be biracial? There's only one humanity. Not one mankind. Not one mankind, there's humanity, women and children. You see, or you think you biracial of 2 races, the white and the black. Somebody created that lie. But the only way you're going to know the truth, you got to use your rational investigative skill to understand that. You know, I go in the store sometime with my wife and people look, you know, she'd be saying, look at this, looking at us. I say, that's their problem. You see, I said, you know, what you want me to do? They just looking at us. And I said, listen, you think about the wrong thing. You serious. When you marry somebody, you don't marry because they're white or they black. You don't fall in love with somebody's skin color. You fall in love with the human being. That's who you love. But some people, they're so caught up, they still affected by the ignorance of other people's infantile philosophy. You know, so, you know, I had a friend of mine when I was living in the hood over there in Brown Sub, you know, Caucasian guy. I bring him to the hood, you know, and he'd be like, you sure it's all right for me to be over here? You know, yeah, it's all right for you to be over here. You know, I guess he done heard so much of, oh, boy, look at him, you know. And he stood so close to me and till we got in the house. I said, what, back up, man. You know, he just scared. And I take him outside, hey, man, look, this my man, blah, blah, blah. This my man, hey, you know, I said, you cool? Oh, my goodness, boy. Illegal, what's an illegal alien?
Space
The Mars.
Someday they may know.
Those who are not of us. That's what they tell us in those books dealing with immigrants. They call them illegal aliens. They call these people illegal, then they call them aliens. That's a double whack. And we begin to call, people trying to come in this country illegal aliens. They're not aliens, brother. They're just people trying to get somewhere to get something better. But that's a philosophy too, which is crazy. Illegitimate child. What child is illegitimate? Just because you have sex with a woman and the woman had a baby, so that means the baby illegitimate? Now you may have gone by, as far as morals concerned, an illegitimate way of having that baby, but the baby, there's nothing wrong with the baby. God created that baby. You see? So we can't say, you bastard, you this, and we call the child all kind of crazy names. Okay?
Don't even worry sometimes when women get raped, they get pregnant. That's a lot of, sometimes they don't want to do an abortion because it's some religious issues, but at the same time maybe they could grow up in an environment with all of hate, because that's reminding the mother with their bad experience. And it's become very common these days.
Okay, right. All right, we're gonna get through this front page, man. Y'all can read the back page when you get home. Black power, white power. There's no power in your blackness. The only power is in your mind or your morals. Your skin doesn't carry a particular power. That's not your superiority there. It's up here. Even sometimes, you have the so-called white folks saying, white power. So here we go with that philosophy again. There's nothing going on with the skin color. You got that for a reason. Your real power comes from within. You see? That's the real you. Okay? So we can't get, back in the day, black power, black power. I'm black and I'm proud. James Brown made that song. I'm black and I'm proud. I mean, hey, you shouldn't have a problem with being black or whatever your skin color is. But you got to know that's not the real you. If you got a problem with that, then there's something very wrong. Black power, my blackness. You call it evil. Every time you see a black person, hey, that's my brother. Hey, brother. He about as evil as he can be. Just because he black.
I think, you mentioned like James Brown and whatnot. I think a lot of that was in response to just the opposite that was occurring.
Yeah, I know.
Because it done a job on, the thickness of your nose, how kinky your hair was, good hair, bad hair, and, skin color and all this stuff. So I think, at a time and place in certain situations, black power. In other words, don't be ashamed of who you are
That's
and
right.
how you look.
Yeah.
So yeah, black power, or I'm black and I'm proud.
It doesn't mean, it doesn't
It's not a-
subjugate others.
Yeah, it's not putting down.
It means unity. And
Yeah, you're right. That's what he
I'm not
meant.
saying negating.
But now some people, when they think about that,
Some.
it's a whole different concept.
Yeah.
But we have to always, like I say, go back to the rational investigation. You have to rationally use your mind to figure out whether things are true or false. Okay? So, biracial, we know that's false. Man is God. Back in the old days, we had a lot of brothers running around talking about man is God. No, man is the creation of God. The man is like a God. No, he's not like a God. He's the creation of God. Only the real God is like a real God. We don't have two gods up in the air somewhere fighting one another for dominance. We only have one in control of everything. You see? So sometimes when you You got to have convictions that even when people criticize you, you have the courage to stand on your own convictions, because people will criticize you. But when you use your rational investigation, say, wait a minute, man, that don't make no sense. And we have to move on. Free or nominally free. So that means, are you free, or are you just free in word only? Just like saying, are you a Christian or are you a nominal Christian? Are you a Muslim or are you a nominal Muslim? You just a person in word only. You see? So if you don't have the right philosophy as to what freedom is, then you stay confused. Okay? Race consciousness or human consciousness? The only race I know is the one that you get involved in when you're in a contest. In the beginning, that's what it was, a race. Yeah. Somebody came along and politicized that word. What's your race, man? What? What's your race? Yeah. We're all part of the same human family. And anytime you give justice, or you're a person who's just, you're following the ways of nature. Because nature gives justice to one and all without discrimination. It don't rain over here because you white, and it storm over here all the time because you black. you know, nature isn't like that. Nature is orderly, but we take our own mind, which is a gift, and we twist things up so bad, man, it's ridiculous. So we have any comments we want to end it? Sun Tzu, he was a great military strategist. He said, if you know yourself and your enemy, you can win 100 battles without a loss. He said, but if you know yourself and not your enemy, you have the 50-50 chance of winning. But if you don't know yourself nor your enemy, you will lose every battle. Because sometimes your enemy is you. Yes.
I just want to add, the race consciousness or human consciousness. Now, it's supposed to be human consciousness, but the race consciousness is on the same thing when it comes back to power. When you look at the world as it's supposed to be human consciousness, but no one else sees you in that same light, then you're forced to adapt. In nature, you have to adapt to survive. So, as Africans, black people, you look at everything as human consciousness, but you see every system is against you. So now you have to adapt and build your own self. You have to look at who you are first to build yourself up. So then everyone sees you as a human being. You understand what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying, but if you know who you are, you don't have to build yourself up. You already know who you are. You know, just like God places in a baby to walk and to crawl, you don't have to teach a baby how to walk and crawl. It's already in its nature to do that. And it's in your nature to know who you are. But if you don't take the time to even ask that question, like Socrates said, the unexamined life isn't worth living. So you got to think about who you are for real. You see? And whatever they say, you say, you know who you are, you ain't got to get caught up in that.
Yeah. And I think what you're saying too, through slavery, we were so broken. Right. Everything was broken up who we are before we got here. That we have to relearn that.
Well, you're right, Doc. Sometimes you have to relearn. Yes.
You know, race is a construct. It's a construct that they invented back in the late 1600s to support white supremacy.
Right.
So it's a social economic. It's an economic engine.
Right.
And that, you know, people say that there are certain things that have been eliminated, but then again, there's a lot of things that are still here. They become a little bit more covert in the way that they go about suppressing you, and a lot of, before it was easy to recognize. You could see it. Oh, it's happening, and you knew where like they say, I know where I stand when I walk into this environment. And I think now what they've done is they kind of flipped it, and a lot of black folks don't even recognize. Black and brown folks, we don't even recognize where we are and how we fit into this environment. So we think we get pulled over. Well, I got rights. Well, actually, you don't. Yeah. And this is and thus, well, I can go to court. No, you can't, because the whole system it hasn't changed. They just got a little bit more slicker about it, and they put black and brown faces to be the perpetuator of the continuance of empire.
Yeah, that's the
That's what
face of
Obama
crime,
is. He's
the
just
face of crime.
he's a black face, but
Yeah.
he's still holding down that very system. That's the problem.
Yeah.
You're so ingrained into it, you don't realize, you don't know it. Can you tell a fish is wet? If you go tell a fish you're wet, like, what are you talking about? You can't. It's impossible.
Another thing,
You have to sit back. Actually, you have to see what it is and then sit back and see it as a whole.
but you know that start with the children.
Yeah.
And
It's got to.
what a lot of people don't understand, a lot of people don't really understand what racism is, what racism and white supremacy is. It ain't about somebody's color, somebody calling you this and that. This is about the control they have over you.
Man.
So what racism have did, they have evolved. So they do like the brother said, they're doing things different. That you don't understand, you don't see. There's still laws on the books, like the 13th Amendment says that you are free as a slave unless you commit a crime. That's why they work for 2 cents on the dollar, whatever, in prison.
Oh, they put that's right.
Because and that law is still on the books.
You're still a
So
slave,
lot
but
of
you go to
things-
prison. Yeah.
So people think things are getting better, but they just change. You know what I'm saying? We got Obama here. We can do certain things now. You can't say certain things because you got a black president now. You can't holler racism. So that's why you see there's a rise in racism. The head has risen up again.
Yeah.
So it's just a change of faces. But we as conscious people, when you get conscious, it has to start with the kids. Some of us are not going to be saved. You can't save everybody. Because everybody ain't going to get it. Some of us too far gone.
Casualties.
But
of
it
war.
has to start with the youth. It's just like racism cannot perpetuate and go on unless the adults teach the children.
Yeah.
You take a black child and white child, put them on an island, they gonna love each other. They don't know nothing about nothing.
Nothing about racism.
And I think
The only thing I'm saying is, no matter who does it, it's gonna be somebody behind the strings.
Say the
behind
last
strings,
word
pulling the
is-
strings.
right.
They work
Somebody
for
else.
It's somebody else.
They work for the bankers.
Acetaminophen and Tylenol. That's what I call Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. One is generic and the other one is the name brand that we all like to hear. You got to understand the foundation of what's happening. They're really not much different.
They just
One
work-
talks crazy. One has done some crazy stuff as being Secretary of State.
It's like a board of directors. Which CEO do I want? One is more outgoing and one is a little.
All right, guys.
Tell you what,
We can
I say
go
Ghana.
on and
I
on.
say
Don't
Ghana.
give up your guns. Let's line up. Nope. Let's line up. That's another form of defense there. Understand that it's mad. Yeah, man. So, take this home with you and read the other side. So remember now, when people want to come to this class, let them know that our self-defense goes beyond physical techniques. Okay? So we gotta have a very strong defensive understanding. Okay. That's so bad. No struggle?
No progress.
No struggle?
No progress.
No struggle?
No progress.
Eye to eye?
Heart to heart to heart.
Each one?
Each one.
Escape. Proceed.
Los.
That's his spirit.
No regato sensei.
Don't touch your body. Hold it.
He's shorter than all of us.
But I got him on the,
Oh,
I got him on the.
That's one. All right. You're beautiful, Tom.
That's what I am, okay. I've been working on it for a while. What I would like to do, or what we're gonna do, okay, hold it. Cynthia, will you drop your hand? Just drop your hands. That's good. Okay, hold it.